We're presenting to you today our case studies on why wait, how real-time research supports critical business decisions. Now, a couple of housekeeping issues. We're asking that you hold all questions to the end, and we've actually muted all of your lines, so you won't be able to talk, but there is a text box available in your panel on the right, so feel free to just type questions as you think of them in that box. So my name is Molly Simpson, and I'm an account manager here at InCrowd on the client services team. And I'm also joined with my colleague Jeff Penny, who is a vice president and business development. And Jeff's going to take it away for us now to talk through this next slide. Jeff?
Thanks, Molly. I love these kind of exercises. It's an opportunity for us to present specific use cases, where we get a real sense of the client business questions, their state of mind, where their brand is in the life cycle of the brand, and how InCrowd helps them out. That's critical to know, but wanted to start with some marketing research that we did on our own over the last year, looking at the many ways that the InCrowd platform is used. From companies that have a brand new product, really it's their only product coming to market, to large top 10 global manufacturers. And that includes from very early life cycle of the brand to very mature brands. And in this particular case, it's a nice visual to show you how clients are using us. And as you can see here, one of the biggest categories is market awareness. I like to describe this as opportunity sizing, right? RXing patterns, our product will likely be used second line. How often is that being used? How long does it take to get to a second line therapy? All some critical information as our clients begin to build or change some of their strategy and tactics. So more than anything, I wanted to let you know and give you a visual. Molly will provide these slides for everybody at the end of the presentation, but it's a nice takeaway to show you the wide range of uses for InCrowd. Thanks, Molly.
Thanks so much, Jeff. That was great. So we're going to go ahead and get started and talk about this first case here, which is on the topic of exploring KOL comments. So this client uses InCrowd in a very effective way. We're going to be highlighting two clients, and this first one, they come to us anytime a question arises. I'm sure that in your daily business, walking down the hall, you run into your VP of sales, you're at an event, you are at a team meeting, and questions come up, and you don't really know how to get the answers to them because you really want information from a primary source. So what happened in this case is that the client was at an event that was a roundtable discussion of KOLs, and it really brought up more questions than the answers they were looking for. So mainly what they heard from these KOLs at the roundtable is that there was a discrepancy among the doctors regarding their preferences in dosing. So this client is about to launch a product. There are already competitor products on the market, and that what they're hearing is that KOLs feel that the competitor products on the market, they don't necessarily follow the dosing recommendations. So that was pretty surprising to the client because they're about to release this new product. And so they came to us and said, hey guys, we need to reach out to both academic and community-based physicians to see what dose they're going to be prescribing our drug or other drugs at. And what they discovered actually is academic physicians pretty much varied their starting dose, similar to the discrepancy that they saw at the event with the KOLs. However, the community-based treaters confirmed that in fact they really were following the labeled dosage, and that was very helpful because the product that they are going to be releasing is more community focused. So they knew that the dose that they were using, that the community doctors were going to stick with it. So in this next area, The main issue to the client here was positioning their product. Now, the new product they were going to be releasing, it doesn't require liver functioning tests, but does that matter to the doctors? Should they focus their marketing efforts on, hey, we have this new drug and it doesn't require, or we don't, you don't need to do these tests. Well, so they came to us and they reached out to doctors and said, well, how frequently are you doing these tests already? Are you following the 2-week guideline? And actually what they found out is, well, the doctors really aren't. It's a very invasive test. It's uncomfortable. They don't like making their patients do it that frequently. And in fact, the doctors were really conducting these tests every 4 to 8 weeks. And what this actually told the client is, even though this is a competitive advantage that this new product won't require it at all, it's not a big advantage because they're not really doing it, that often anyway already. So that helped them reposition their marketing focus moving forward. Okay, so when you're about to launch a product, as this client was, there are a lot of things, I'm sure you know, that need to be built. We've already talked about marketing, we've talked about dosing, we've talked about discrepancies in clinical trial opinions. Well, here we're going to talk about patient support programs. So the client really wanted to put together an effective patient support program, a best-in-class program. And they knew that many competitors that are already on the market have really strong programs already. So again, they went out to the doctors, and in a matter of only a few days, they were able to find out of the programs that they would want to model after, which is the favorite of physicians that they researched. And they were able to take a pretty long list and narrow it down to a very short list. And this helped them focus their future research. So now the client has 1 or 2 programs that they'll look at, and they'll do a much larger study to really analyze each individual level of the program. So, what specifics do physicians like about the particular program? And so, like I said, this allows for more focused future research tracks, and it allows them to do it more quickly. Jeff, do you want to elaborate on this?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that to provide a little color commentary in that this is a young company. They've got a single product. Not long before we did this work for them, they had some very positive initial results from their phase 3 findings. And as that typically goes, they begin to hire staff, right? They have more and more confidence to bring on more people to play the broader role that will ultimately achieve a successful launch, right? So a couple of weeks beforehand, the people responsible for the patient assistance program, the development of it, came on board along with their consultants, and they had a number of conversations. And this was one way for them to explore best practices. Typically with traditional marketing research, you might say, well, why not wait? You do a market landscape. This is a question we certainly can add to that. But I think in this context, there was a team that was on board. They had questions, and they wanted to get answers so they could move on with some of their more broader strategic planning. So again, a great fit for InCrowd.
Thanks, Jeff. So this last slide is around the Sunshine Act. And I'm sure that many of you have been posed with new challenges regarding the Sunshine Act, and this client who came to us was really no different. Given the stringent new rules of the Sunshine Act, the client knew that they wanted to use professional services in the launch of their new drug, but they weren't really sure how the new rules would affect the ability to speak with doctors, and really how much time and availability the doctors would have given these new stringent rules. So they went out and they asked the doctors, how much has the Sunshine Act changed the level of activity and your behavior with marketing, with pharmaceutical and marketing companies these days? And actually what they found is, there really hasn't been a strong effect. Only about 1/3 of respondents cited that there was a decrease in pharma interaction. And this was very helpful to the client because it actually meant that the client could continue with their planned initiatives and not have to worry about, losing participation from doctors. Okay, So now we're going to talk about this second case study, and this is a little bit of a shift. This is more around the sales team feedback and wanting to confirm what a new client was actually hearing from their own sales force. So again, this is a very common question. I'm sure many of you can relate to times in your career when sales just aren't where they're expected to be, that they're a little bit down, you're not really sure why, what's going on in the market. Your sales team is telling you one thing, your forecasts from the year before have said something else, and you don't really know, things are changing in the market, so you don't really know, what factors are affecting. Are you going to lose sales? Is your end year not going to be where you're expecting? So that's what happened here. Our client came to us and they said, listen, our sales are down year over year. Our sales force is telling us, oh, let us keep, don't worry, the sales are out there, people are just taking longer to make decisions, and senior management is saying, where are the sales? And so the client comes to us and says, all right, well, is the sales team telling us the truth? Is what the sales team is telling us actually the case? So we launched a quick micro survey of 200 vaccine buyers, pharmacists and PCPs, to ask them, hey, have you guys made your buying decisions, for the year so far? If not, when are you going to do it? And what they actually found is that, the sales team was telling them, they were able to confirm what the sales team was telling them, which is true. The sales are still out there, and additionally, they were able to uncover some really important timelines for their purchasing decisions. So the simple takeaway here is that the client was able to allay concerns, of course, of senior management, and also, tell the sales team, you're right, keep it up, you're doing a great job, there are more sales to be had. And then lastly, the client was also hearing from their distribution channels, their distributors. And their distributors were saying, hey, in the past, we've gotten so many orders from you, where are they? And the client was then able to say, hey, we know, they're coming, and because of the questions they asked, I think they asked 3 questions in this survey and got the data back really quickly, because they were able to find out this information so fast and actually find out real timelines, they were able to say to their distribution channels, don't worry, they're coming in XYZ months, we'll have XYZ amount, and we're going to be giving you the business we gave last year. And so that was also very helpful for the client as well. Jeff, do you want to elaborate on this a little bit?
Sure. Honestly, this is our sweet spot at InCrowd. As Molly described, we were able to get to 200 independent pharmacists and PCPs in less than 24 hours. I think you can imagine as these sales over a week or weeks period were not coming in, the kind of anxiety that began to build both with the marketing team as well as senior management. I think, we've all experienced it, you from the client side and certainly from us on the vendor side, getting those calls about, hey, what's going on? All I wanted to mention here is that it's something that we do all the time. When there's some urgency, when there's that anxiety, get the question answered and get back to the business at hand of creating the right marketing efforts and the success of your brand, because these kind of distractions, as they really are, do come up. Get them resolved. The sales team saying one thing, we can just be another resource or source for you to confirm that what you're doing is the right thing.
Great. Thanks, Jeff. Now I'm going to actually have Jeff talk a little bit further about a new product that InCrowd is introducing called our InCrowd's Payer Package. So Jeff, why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we're really excited about this. Of course, many of you know, all of you know, I suspect that we do micro surveys with healthcare professionals, nurse practitioners, pharmacists, U.S., ex-U.S., patients as well. The payer crowd is really the last jewel in the crown, if you will. It really allows us to get the fast feedback from a critical stakeholder in decision making and success for your brand. So as you can see here, we've done our homework. You won't be surprised to see that the payer crowd is made up of these P&T committee members and a really nice mix of plan sizes as you would require and need. It's a little bit different than our typical subscription because I think we'll all agree that this is a more difficult group to get to. We're asking that a minimum of 5 questions be asked to 20 respondents. The $5,000 cost minimum, I'm told, is very competitive. There's really no one in the industry that's able to give you this kind of access, quick turnaround for a price like this. So, you'll be hearing more about this, not only through our marketing efforts, but also through your account executives, so stay tuned. We see the next slide, please. So, look, we wanted to give you a little bit of a flavor for how the payer crowd is being used, and not surprisingly, a big part of what our clients have told us about the importance of building this crowd is to be able to test target product profiles, right? Looking at unmet needs and getting that critically unique perspective from a cost standpoint versus features and outcomes that's ultimately going to benefit you and your approach to the market. So look for more on this. We're really excited about it, and we wanted to roll it out for you all today.
Great, thank you so much, Jeff. That's really all for today. Like I said, we would save questions to the end. So now I'd like to open it up to any questions that have come in throughout the presentation. And also, if you're just thinking of some now, please feel free to type any other questions into the chat window in your panel on the right. Okay, I actually see that some are coming in right now. Sorry, we're just bringing them up right here. It looks like the first question says, is there any way we can have access to these slides? Just want to let you know that yes, we're going to be emailing out the slides in PDF form after the presentation is over, so absolutely. Any others? Oh great, it actually looks like some others have come through. So someone actually asked how we were able to, looks like someone says, how were you able to decipher respondents between academic and community doctors? I think that's in reference to the first case study. And how did we do that? So that's a great question. The way that InCrowd works is we actually have a double opted-in approach for all of our crowd members, and we pre-screen. So we already know when we're reaching out to our crowd members, whether they work in an academic hospital, community hospital, or an office setting. And then that data, when you download it right from your own subscriber application, it'll show you the attributes, not just what setting they work in, but also we have most states that people work in. We also have, of course, their specialty, how long they've been in practice, that kind of thing. So thanks, that's a great question. So, okay, it looks like another question I got, it says, what if I have a product profile I would like to show in the survey, and how do I do that? Another great question. We do this all the time. Anytime you have stimuli that you need to show respondents in a survey, it's very simple. We can help you out with that. There is a tool in the subscriber app that allows you to add attachments to a survey, but probably it makes more sense to have your account manager, either myself or my colleague Charlie Leonardo, can help you out with this directly. So just reach out to us, and we're happy to help you with that. Oh, great. I got another answer in reference to that first slide we talked about. Do you work with surveys that aren't on the list of most commonly used? The answer to that is, of course, we work with all different types of surveys. We do OUS survey, we do outside US surveys as well for our current crowd. And we also have translation services, so that is also a possibility. All right. Looks like those are all the questions that we have, right? Is there anybody else? Oh, sorry, just looks like one just came in. Can I show video 2 as an e-detail? Okay, I just got a question that says, can I show video 2 as an e-detail? Yeah, actually, we can do that. And again, we would be happy to work with you directly on showing you how to do that. Um, okay, any final comments? Questions? Great. Well, I really want to thank you guys for spending some time with Jeff and me today. Our contact information is on this last slide as well. It's also going to be included in the slides, of course, that we send you. So, please feel free to reach out to us offline if you have any further questions. And, basically just thanks so much and, have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.